You shove your bodies against the stone doors scattered with arcane markings across them. A backdraft of stale air and decay hit you, and it and it makes one of your party members retch in the corner as you stand beholding the throne room of the ancient druid king. Resting on his hands lay the gauntlets of fate, the items that you and your party have been looking for the past 5 years now. As you step forward, a skeletal hand grabs at your ankles with vines wrapped around it. As you step back and you face your party members, you look forward as the ancient druid king stands up, and 8 skeletal druids arise from the ground. What do you do? That was exciting, wasn't it? Well, that's a regular game of D&D for you. Dungeons and Dragons, that is. And that is what I'm going to teach you how to play today. An interactive role-playing game that you can play with any of your friends, and that I think everyone should play. First thing that you're going to need to do is find a group. Now, the easiest way, and I know it sounds silly, to find a group is to just ask your friends. You never know who had a cousin that they used to play D&D with, who used to play a game and everyone just ended up getting busy, or who actually currently plays a game right now, and maybe you can be a part of it, which would be amazing. Unfortunately, though, that doesn't happen. And that's why stores like Gamers Workshop and other RPG tabletop gaming stores are a thing. They actually usually have events where they play games like D&D, Magic the Gathering, where you can just go in one night and play with a group of people that are from your community. And whether you want it to be a one shot where you just go once or twice and you play a couple games, or it might become a regular thing where you go back weekly and it might be your new thing. Unfortunately, sometimes that's even a struggle for some people to manage. So there are websites like Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds, which are online tabletoping games where you can Skype with people or use the app itself from people not only from your own community, but across the world to play D&D, which I think is amazing. It's a way to create a community and a conversation with people that you really wouldn't otherwise. So now you found your group. What's next? Well, now you have to make a character. And to make a character, you might need this. This is the player's handbook to D&D. Now, I know it seems like a lot and it seems kind of hefty, but I'm telling you now, it is not our old rules. What the player's handbook is actually for is to tell you how that you can make your own character. In here are bountiful amounts of races and classes. Races being anywhere from dragonborns to gnomes to maybe a half elf or as mundane as a human. Even if you want to be a tiefling, which is a half demon, half human. It's really up to you. Next, we have classes. Classes are what your character does best. What is my character known for? Does my character find magic within him? Is he a great sorcerer who never knew that he had this potential? Or maybe he's a noble paladin who protects the innocent and fights for virtue and righteousness. Or maybe you're an assassin who hides in the shadows and does his dirty work for bountiful amounts of coin. Again, it's up to you. It's your character and it's your fun time. So now after you have made your choice on what your character wants to be and who they are, next you're going to have to do your ability scores. Now you may be asking, what's an ability score and why do I need it? An ability score lets your dungeon master and you understand how well you are at a certain task. Ability scores are divided into 6 categories. The 6 are as follows: strength, which is how hard you can throw a tomato; dexterity, which is how well you can dodge that thrown tomato; then there's constitution, which is how well you can digest a rotten tomato; intelligence, which is knowing a tomato is a fruit; wisdom, knowing that a tomato does not belong in a fruit salad; and charisma, which is convincing someone that that tomato does belong in that fruit salad. Well, now that you have now that you have your ability scores, you need to know how to actually get the scores themselves. So what you will be doing is grabbing one of these, which is a d6 or a 6-sided dice, and you will be rolling 4 of them. You take the highest 3 numbers and add them together. You've just gotten your first ability score. Now you have to do that 5 more times, once for each ability score. Now, I know that all of this and all of that seems like a little bit much for some people, and that's rightfully understandable. So, the Wizards of the Coast, who actually own Dungeons and Dragons, on their website have pre-generated, already written out character sheets where they have all of the numbers, the background, the all the class features and all the racial features that you'll ever need to know for that specific character. All you have to do is put a name on it and say why they are the person that they are. It's that easy. And honestly, it's that fun. So now you have your character sheet, but now you need to know how to actually play Dungeons and Dragons. And I've been throwing a word around a lot, like Dungeon Master and DM, and I know some of you might not know what that is. Well, basically, they're the god of the story. They're the person who says what can and cannot happen. They tell you what is going around in the world. You, the character players, or the player characters, or the PCs, tell your DM what you do to the world around you or what your reaction is. Your DM will then tell you to roll one of these, which is a d20 or a 20-sided die, and then based on that roll, he or she will actually tell you how well, or in some cases not so well, you do that task. So, at some point, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, you will get into a battle, or you will fall under attack, at which point your DM will tell you to roll initiative. Initiative is a point where the DM tries to find out how well your and your other players, your other player characters, react to being into a battle, or how fast your reaction times are. That's what we're going to talk about next. Battle sequences. So there are 3 battle sequences to your movement or your playing. The first is movement, which is how far you can move in the 6 seconds that you are given. Your attacking phase, which is obvious, where you attack your opponent, and your bonus action. Now, your bonus action is usually only used for certain classes or races that can do certain abilities during the bonus action. For other classes, it's for picking up weapons, maybe grabbing a weapon from someone, or chugging a healing potion, which will be needed and is advised. Well, that's a lesson in how to play D&D. You found your group and your DM, you've gotten a character sheet, and you know the mechanics of the game. Now all I leave you with is well wishes for your adventurers, new travelers. Thank you.